guys, this is Lord Chael speaking on behalf of our show sponsor, Established Titles. Established Titles is a project based on a Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lords and ladies. They allow you to buy as little as 1 square foot of dedicated land so you can officially call yourself a lord or a lady. Established Titles is not just about your ego. You also get to do some good. In addition to your new fancy title, Established Title supports global charities like One Tree Planet and Trees for the Future to help with the afforestation effort. Your title pack gets you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land in a private estate in Scotland. Your certificate features a unique plot number where you can see the exact location of your land. And right now, Established Titles is holding 200 plots of land right next to mine. So come join me in the Bad Guy Inc. Kingdom. Getting this certificate even allows you to officially change your name to Lord or Lady. Put it on your credit card, put it on your plane tickets, or if you're so inclined, put it on your dating profile. Makes for a great last-minute gift, and there's even couples packs that come with adjoining plots of land. Established Titles is having a great limited-time sale. Go to establishedtitles.com/Chael to save 10% off today. Remember to use the promo code Chael, or just click on the link below. Dana was asked a question somewhere along this week. I think it was even post-fight press conference. They were spinning forward, looking to the next pay-per-view. It'll be December 10th. About Jones and Stipe. And Dana said, man, we were never going to do that fight. That's what was said. Just so you understand. That fight was never going to happen. Talking about specifically that date, by the way. But we weren't going to do it. That was never a thing. We were never working on that. A variation of this. Okay. And also through the course of the week of the media, Francis Ngannou spoke up. And I read this on the internet. So I don't know if Francis was doing an interview somewhere and it just happened to also be fight week, or if he went out there and he was in New York. But my guess is he would have gone to Adesanya's fight, because I've seen Francis at the last fights and behind the scenes, and he would have done some media. I only share that with you because I can't cite the source, and I probably owe some credit to the source of this. Francis said, contract's not sorted. And Ngannou's consistent. I mean, I must give him that. And Ngannou's polite. I've got to give him that. I've seen this movie 100 times, and so have you guys. It's the same ending every time, but it's also the same story. It's the same beginning, it's the same middle, and it's the same plot. But only Francis has been polite. Everybody else has come out and wanted to get real specific and why it was wrong and how great they are and how valuable they are. And it's some of these things that are accurate, but they're gross if you say them about yourself. When you go to the public, you don't go to the public to share. You don't go to the public to fight this out. You go to the public to gain the public's support. And there's absolutely no other reason that you make it public, that you air it. So when you start talking about your value and what you're worth, and you start separating yourself from the working man who is your fan, it gets to be hard. But Francis didn't do anything like that. He didn't. We're going to be mad at Francis. Let's go ahead and be mad at him. But let's be mad at him fair. He's been a gentleman, straight up. I haven't even heard him use profanity. Imagine a pissed off Francis Ngannou, by the way. It would be a very intimidating thing. He stayed very calm. Now, Francis said it wasn't sorted, and he made a comment. He said, man, things weren't always rough with the UFC. Things weren't always rocky like this. He said, I told Dana White one time, he said, I didn't even mean to. I didn't mean to ruffle any feathers. I had just told him one time, hey, we can renegotiate after each fight. And he said after making that comment is where then he felt things were different. Yes, of course. Of course. I understand what he meant. We said I didn't mean to. I was just thinking, I was just a guy talking. Yes, things are going to be very different after that. Now, I also don't know how to cure it. I don't know how to cure it. When I told you I've seen this movie 100 times, that's true, guys. But I'll see it 100 more. With the same ending. The same beginning, same middle, and the same plot. And I fantasize, though. I fantasize that I can solve this problem. I have a fantasy that I can be the great communicator that brings this to the guys and gets them to see it, because this isn't complicated at all. This is not a gray area at all. And not just a little tiny bit. This is extremely, eyes wide open, lights bright on, obvious. But it's never been communicated in an efficient way. I had a friend, and the friend went in and did a car deal. Now, if you want to get the absolute most value for your car, you're going to have to sell it privately. If the car is of any reasonable value, you don't offer financing. And if you have somebody that knows the law, they would never buy a private party car. Do you guys know why? Do you understand that? You never buy from a private party. You only buy from a dealer. Do you know why? Yeah, you're going to pay more. Do you know why? You ever heard of a lemon law? All 50 states have it. Do you know about this? Okay. It's called buyer beware. The Attorney General in all 50, I'm going to take a shot at this, guys. I have this goal that I can be the explainer, but boy, I haven't gotten there yet. All 50 states have a law for private party car sales known as buyer beware, but I want to tell you why. The Attorney General in all 50 states, due to a political action fund that funded lobbies the legislature, but that's the same as every other industry worth a damn, Attorney General would like you to buy from a dealer. They want you to do that because they're trying to create jobs. It's an industry. They would like you to buy from a dealer. I can't tell you what to do with your money. So if you would like to go to a private party, go ahead. But if you get what you feel is ripped off, we are not going to back you. Do not call us here at the AG's office and tell us the crimes that this person committed to you. Don't do that. Because we don't want you doing those deals anyway. We'll let you. It's legal. We're not going to help you. If you go to a dealer and those same bad practices happen, I will meet you at that dealership tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Do you understand the difference here? Now, I had a friend, and he traded his car in. Now, the dealership, right, with this shocking news with its parking lot, and its espresso machine inside, and its employees in ties, and its beautiful sign, and its advertisements all over TV, which brought you there in the first place, wants to make money. I mean, I know that's shocking news, and I know you hate that. You don't want anybody making money from you, but if you trade a car in my friend's case, he traded in for 14 grand. Now, most dealers, if they take a trade, will get it to another dealer. And the cars a dealer will put on his lot, he got from that, right? They swap them back and forth because they don't want this to happen. And it happens every time. If you ever take a car in on trade from the dealership and you go put it on your front line, the person that sold it to you is going to drive by and see how much you're selling it for and then feel ripped off. Just why dealers do not sell their own trades. They get them to another deal. It's called wholesale. They bring them from a different dealer. I put it on my lot. You put it on yours. The guy won't know the difference. All right. So my friend sells it for 14 grand. He drives by there asking $17,000 for it. They ended up getting it. Got it that weekend. First weekend it was on sale. Matter of fact, he drove by. This guy and his family were excited and they're shaking hands. They're holding the baby. It was almost like a commercial as he sees that he's just made a deal on his rig for 3 grand more than he sold for. He thought he was ripped off. And that is a piece of human psychology you can never get around. If you thought it was fair and you agreed and you were even pleased at 14 grand, you are going to be more pleased, much more pleased, smiling bigger if you found out they sold it for 12.5. If you got 14 and the guy you did a deal with then lost money, people are going to be happier. Those people are called scumbags. But they're more common. I might have just described you. There's much more scumbags. If they sell it for 17 while they're openly attempting to make a profit. Now, they financed it, they put a warranty on it, they detailed it, they serviced it, they've got to pay a commission on it, they did advertising. No, you don't care about any of that. You gave me 14 and you got 17, and you did it in 3 days. That is an unfair profit. That is the piece of psychology. If the promoters just really needed to speak clear to the boys, and see, the promoters don't do this because they didn't know you boys were this stupid. If they were to speak to you like the dum-dums that you behave like, it would go something like this. I am a businessman. The only commodity that I sell is your performance. I would like it to be exciting. I would like it to be effective. I have incentives if you achieve that. If you don't, I'm going to take a loss. But don't feel bad for me. I got 556 guys under contract, and 540 of them are losses. I have 16 guys that can earn me a profit, and of those 16, 3 can make a profit big enough to feed all the rest of you. And I don't know where you're going to end up. Mathematically, you're much more likely to be an expense for me. Where I make enough expenses on this industry, I can get a return. And I'm willing to risk it all for that. Here's your contract. But you really got to tell them right up front. I am selling only commodity, your performance. Now, there's ways to do that. There's ways to build you up, which is going to change your life, which is what made you want to come. You didn't come here because you want to punch somebody in the face. Walk down to the local club to do that. You didn't come here because you want to get punched in the face. Walk down to the local club and do that. You came here because I can build you. I can build your name. I can tell your story. I can make it fun. I can feed your ego. Nobody wants to go fight somebody, but a lot of people want to fight if a whole bunch of other people are watching, right? This is fair, and this is above board. Now, again, most likely, I'm going to lose on you. But somebody's going to make it. It just might be you. Here's what I'm going to do. Give you a 5-fight deal. Here's what the numbers are. Here's what this looks at. But please understand, if I have the opportunity to build you up, and if you are that lightning in a bottle that catches on with the audience, if they care, if they're interested in you, if they come out to see you, that will bring in revenue. I'm going to keep it. If I want to stick it in my back pocket, if I want to light it on fire, or if I want to pay to keep this enterprise going, it's none of your business. It's my money. Do you understand? Yeah, I understand. Okay, great. Let me just ask you this one more time. Here's what you're going to get. You've seen the bell and whistles that I can bring. If I do that and it works, which it seldomly does, but if you're one of the few that it does, and this brings in attention and money and opportunity, can I trust you to follow through on this contract, fully knowing I'm going to get a return on my investment, which I fully admit I got into this business to do? Can I trust you to do that? No, you can't trust me. And that's what this should say right there. Right there is where that renegotiation should start. No, I like these numbers and I see what you're doing. If I outgrow this contract, we need to have a discussion for that. And there's many contracts that work that way. There's floors and teams that then work with other floors and teams. Use the NFL by example. Many contracts that work that way. But imagine, right, and if I'm the promoter, right, the last thing, the least fun I get to have is sitting across from somebody who I don't respect their intelligence and I've got to do a sophisticated, that's the last thing I want to do. But I'll do it because it's part of it. But I want a 5-fight, I want a 7-fight deal. Not because I can think I can make more money, by the way. I don't want to talk to you again about this. I don't want to talk to you about this. I don't want to go over the contract. It's boring for me. I have 556 guys. They all want my attention. I have 24 hours in a day. I cannot talk to you all. I put on 11 fights every Saturday. That's 22 guys. That's 44 cornermen. That's 68 plane tickets. That's 48 hotels every Saturday. If the hotel guy needs to talk to me about every room, I can't stay in that hotel. All of those people eat. If I need to talk to the chef before every meal, the deal is off. I can't do it, but I want you to know that now. There's nothing I do in this business where I will be able to talk to each person before that decision is made. 1,008 emails are sent out on average in Las Vegas office alone each day. I am not going to look at all of those. I mean, just so you know, I don't feel I should have to tell you this, but I am going to tell you this. There is nothing I do that I will talk about every time that I do it. It's why I need you to sign a 7-fight deal, a 4-fight deal, a 5-fight. I don't want to talk to you about this for another 18 months. So when you have a comment says, I mean, there's huge disrespect that I know Francis didn't mean. He said he didn't mean it. He said he didn't mean it, but I'm sharing with you right now to this day, many of you will hear that he wanted to renegotiate for each fight, and you thought that was reasonable. He believes that that's reasonable. And the reason I tell you it's disrespectful, I'm the business guy and I'm taking all the risk, but I'm guaranteeing it. No matter how bad it hurts, those numbers right there, on time, every time, I'll figure it out. There's an appreciation that must be shown, truly. If you walk onto the UFC compound and Francis trains at the PI, I mean, this is a massive and gorgeous facility. Does he think this just happens? And if I'm running that and you think that I have time, let alone an interest, let alone a fiduciary responsibility, which I don't. I've got to be able to calculate these numbers to some degree. I don't know what's going to come in. That's a risk every time. But I can know what's going out. And you want to talk? You want to slow me down? Do you want to meet with me face to? Should we do lunch? I mean, can we just get out a calculator and a calendar? How long would this lunch be? Hour? That'd be pretty quick with drive time. Okay, I have 556 of you, and I do this every Saturday. If I moved into this booth in the restaurant, I would not even get a fraction of the way through. And that's where I tell you the lack of respect comes. That's silly and that's ridiculous, and that's not the way it's done. This conversation goes two ways. You never want to have that, right? It'd be ridiculous. It'd be ridiculous for me to do it the other way. It's ridiculous the way that it's ridiculous that you would think we're going to renegotiate before each fight. So if I do a good job and I have people interested in you, which is the only way we make money, and I bring in more people and I book bigger venues and I do more and more people, and there's a bigger nut, I got to have a talk with you because I did a good job. Okay, let's do, if we're in Stupidville, let's get stupid. I gave you a contract for X amount. It's scheduled for 15 minutes. That's what these matches are. I understand that you could go 25, but this is what it's scheduled for. I must fill that because at the end of the day, I'm a television show. And I don't want to tell anybody I'm a television show. I want them to believe I'm a sport. I'm a television show, but I got a pretty good idea of how long you'll be out there. I'm going to put a package before your fight of your knockout reels. That's going to take up 2 minutes. I'm going to have an earpiece in Bruce Buffer. Make sure he's in and out in 90 seconds. You knocked a guy out in 9 seconds. I was buying 15 minutes. Now, I admit that was up to and I like finishes, but I did when I made that fight. I thought you're going to be out there for 9.5. You did it in 22. When I thought you'd be out there 9.5 minutes. And here's what I paid you for 9.5 minutes, but you did it in 22 seconds. Now, you want paid more money for doing it in 22 seconds. But what you did is you cost me, as I'm putting on a television show, you cost me minutes. Now, you guys don't believe that. You guys see how stupid that was. But that's the reverse argument. And it was stupid. That's the reverse argument. So if you're going to talk dumb to me, let me talk dumb to you. Or how about we don't do that? How about we all have a little bit of a brain? There's 556 guys. There's 11 fights every single Saturday. I don't have time for this. Not to mention I don't enjoy it. Not to mention I don't really want to bite you a bigger check. Just so you understand that. I have built-in incentives and I have participation, and there's a whole multi-billion-dollar industry around that people know who you are and they want to use you. By the way, I think I just saw you in a movie. Do you think you're in that movie because you're a good actor, or do you think you're in that movie because I put you in it? I mean, in all fairness, what is it? I don't understand. I don't understand. You make a car deal for 14 grand and they sell it for 17. A guy that you did business with made money. That's good business. Now you can come back to him and you can do it again. You sell it to him for 14 and he sells it for 12.5. That was bad business. And while you're going to like that deal for whatever evil and twisted reason that your parents raised you on, that's not good business. And the next time you go back to him, you can't do it again. If you don't understand that concept, probably shouldn't be trusting you with money in the first place.